the most about the team performance this afternoon?
I just think how ready we are from the beginning. I think, and we know how these games are so big for us to win, but I think today especially, we were ready from the start. First period was really good from us, so I think, we always talk about starting a game, and today was, one of those that you can see that we're ready to play.
What do you think it says about the maturity of the team when the Wild started to push in the third, that you guys had a response and you weren't put on your heels?
Yeah, I think that's something that we have a lot of hard teams to play for next 9 games, and there's going to be some pushes in the game. That's what the mature team does, that they're able to kind of respond. Have 1-2 bad shifts, but then go right back to what was successful for them before. So if you keep doing that, we're going to be winning more games than losing.
What do you think is going right for you with this goal scoring stretch?
I just think, Harvey and Casey are looking for me there a lot, and they made great 2 passes today. Even Casey, the shot, he saw me net front alone, and he fired the puck there. So those sort of things that start to click more and more every game, and as long as we can help the team win games, score a couple of goals to the line, it's going to be success.
What's your confidence like though with the puck on your stick right now? Obviously, 2 different types of goals, cross-ice passing, the deflection. It just feels like you're very confident and calm with the puck.
Yeah, I think there's always, in the season, there's always stretches that you create chances, you don't put all of them in, and then the other way around. So I think right now it's a good timing for our line to try to create and score goals and help the team win games. And you feel good when it's when you're scoring goals and creating especially every shift. So that's something that I'm happy that we're doing this morning.
You're approaching a career high in points. You already have your career high in goals. Do you feel like you've been playing some of the best hockey of your career this season?
I think I try to get better every year. It's something that every summer I try to work on my game, and I'm happy that it keeps going up. Even last year wasn't as good as I wanted to, and kind of that was motivation for all of us to get better. And I think all of our team got a little bit better every player, and that's why we're still around the playoffs right now, and hope we make it.
What were some of the things you wanted to improve coming into this season?
I think every year it was similar theme of we want a little bit more around net front. Even now, putting on a power play as a net front role, just being around the net more, using my body, and that's something that I try to focus on video and everything in the summer. And I think it's paying off now, and I have to keep doing it more.
Although you just said hopefully you make the playoffs as the calendar dwindles down and down. Do you feel each win becomes bigger and bigger?
Yeah, no, we have to win these games. I think everyone, every game is important. Now we have again back-to-back big game tomorrow, so that's something you have to refocus and just win as many as we can. We have a good enough team to make the playoffs. We just have to show it every night and win games.
Are you the group following what's going on with the other teams, or is it more just doing what you need to take care of here and keep winning games? None of that really matters.
I think you look a little bit at home. When you're at home as a player, I think you look at the standings, see how the other teams are doing for sure. But in the locker room, I think it's all about us. Even our meetings, we see that if we play the right way, we can win against anybody, and that's was the focus this year, especially.
You had great chemistry with Pastrnak and Krejci, a few years back. Does the chemistry you have with this line, I know it's different style players, but does it feel similar at all?
Yeah, it's different players. I was playing wing mostly, that year too. But I think when you have chemistry with the line, it always helps you excited, to play games with them. We were creating a lot of chances, and that was 4 years ago for me, and I remember that till today. That was one of the most fun hockey I had, and again this year and the year before, I feel like in Boston I had always was lucky enough to play with great teammates, and everyone you play with on this team, it's fun to play with, especially if we're clicking as line play played most of the season together. It helps, but it's great that we're winning. Yeah, I think he's winning a lot of puck battles. I think we all know how skilled he is with the puck. He's way better with winning puck battles. Creating chances for us. Shooting the puck. So I think we know what's in him, and he's bringing it more and more. I think his game's getting better too every game. Especially when the stretch when we need it the most. So I'm happy to play in the line with him, and I think this is someone that we have fun playing with in the line.
How do you feel like Marco's approach of kind of staggering the talent through the top 4 lines has worked out, as opposed to being more top heavy with top 3 guys on the lines we've seen a lot like here in the past? It seems that has worked out with some diversity in scoring.
Yeah, I think that's something that we did last couple of games, and I think it's been working. I think every line has something to offer. I think today was example of every line kind of doing their job and winning the game. So it's good.
Let's do it.
Yeah, obviously we got the lead, and it's always nice to be playing with the lead. And overall, great team effort. Every line contributed today, shift by shift. 5-on-5. It's a good team win, and just having another one, big one tomorrow. So focus for tomorrow already.
It feels like you guys were very difficult to play against the last couple games, kind of reestablished who you are as a group. What's gone into that, and how focused has the group been on being a difficult team to play?
I mean, you can look at the standings. It's gonna make you focus up, and dialed in. Every single play matter now, especially the games keep coming, and we're getting to single-digit numbers now for the rest of the year. So we have to remain focused and make it hard for the other team, because when we play like that and we try to frustrate the other team, usually most of the times we come up on the top. So just have to remain focused.
David, you said you look at the standings, and focus is obviously important, but your guys have risen too. It's possible for some teams focus and don't play well, or you guys have handled it.
You look at it, but obviously once you come to the ring and it's time to get better, whether it's practice or game, you kind of obviously don't really think about where you're standing. You want to leave everything out there and be the best version of yourself and for the team. So obviously it's we all know how tight it is, and but at the end of the day, we have to focus on our play when we come to the ring. So it's not like we think about it between periods or between shifts. But if that helps us overall as a group, then we should keep looking at the standings.
What can you say about really that performance from Zacha, Arvidsson, that's like everybody?
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive. They obviously never met each other, and overall with Mitzi, and they've been great line the whole year. Every time they're on, it makes so much easier for the rest of the group to follow up, and when they have nights like this, not many nights we come up short. So obviously Pav's been on a great goal streak, and we'll need that, and it's been really fun to watch, and I'm super happy for him.
At the beginning of the season, outside this room, there was not a lot of belief in what this group could do. What has it meant to kind of put this team in this season together, to be in this position and have an opportunity to potentially go to the postseason? What does it take him to do it?
Yeah, I mean, you can use the outside noise always as a excuse or advantage or challenge. It's there. It will always be there. That's the part of being a professional athlete. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, in that once you come to the rink, you make sure you try to live your best. Get tight as a group. From day one, we could feel that we like each other. There is something. So the season is long, and we've been through together so much. So we just have to keep building and keep getting better every game, because obviously there's still a lot of mistakes we make, and that's what hockey is about. It's a game of mistakes, but when we are there for each other, it's much more easier to play and way more fun. So just gonna keep building.
David, you had said shortly after the break that you felt like you still had another level in your game. Do you think you've been finding that recently?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the schedule's been pretty hectic, so I'm feeling much better, honestly, in my game, and obviously, like I said, as long as we keep winning, it's easy to follow the group and follow the play better, and you know what I mean. Like, it's always easier when you win to found your game. So I'm feeling good now, and like I said, just a short memory focus for tomorrow.
Consider the opponent and all the contributions they did, does this feel like one of the more complete wins of the season?
Yeah, excuse me. Absolutely. It felt good. Felt good for 60 minutes. Felt good our first shift right away. Our guys did a really good job. The Minton line kept the puck in the zone. Stuff we talked about starting yesterday, today pre-scout. So they delivered right away. So I agree. It was a complete 60 minutes effort, and that's why every line you know, everyone brought something to the table. They could be a fight, could be assists, could be goals, whatever it is. Wayne, net outstanding again. So that's who we are, and that's what I like the most.
Marco, you probably remember the days when you were a player in the season, winding down, and you got to make that push. Can you sense the room being a little different now with the guys?
I do. Guys are, you know, they try to stay loose, but also be a little bit more serious, and you know, the push. Guys are pushing a little bit harder. It's a little bit more intense. I think for a lot of guys who've never been through it, they're actually learning too how little details and little mistakes cost you a goal or a hockey game. You know, you could see it today, that face-off against an offense zone, all of a sudden end up in a goal. It's just that little moment, if you're not aware, it's gonna end up in the net. And so those are the things it's getting more and more here in March and April, and they're more and more important.
Marco, the Zacha line off the rush, what makes them so dangerous?
I always go back to that combination. When I say combination is, you know, you have Casey's almost a forgotten guy, right? We always talk about Darby, about, you know, his drive to the net. You know, I think Pav is like in between. He can drive, but he can also make plays. And what I like about, even if you look at that first goal there, even with Peaks, you know, Casey was going through the goalie's eyes, you know. So it's the combination again. And when you talk about entries, I think that's what they bring, and they actually switch it up too. So that makes them so dangerous. But now they know each other. I think that's one thing they're good at it now. They just, you know, they're comfortable. They talk a lot, and also they know where everyone's at in any point of the game.
You've had these lines together for a little bit now since Reichel came up. What have you liked about your current combinations?
Yeah, it just, for me, it's, you know, it's the pressure's off one line, or maybe the second line. I think it's spread out a little bit more. I think we have a little bit of better identity throughout the lineup. You have David with the young kids line, he called it, you know, give us a little bit of both, also goals and also 200-foot game. You know, David's pass line is pass line, but I really like Lindy's line. All of a sudden, he comes more to shine too. I think Lucas does an excellent job, maybe not on the score sheet, but he creates a lot of room for them, so it's time to breathe. Also, it's not just dump and chase, it's actually, you know, they're keeping pucks and they're very comfortable. So again, every line has something, and that's, for me as a coach, it's nice to have. And if I have to switch it, or I have to squeeze it to get a goal or something, I can. So that's the nice part of it.
Just on the breakouts with usually the far winger, most of the time, Arvidsson and Pastrnak like to jump out and be really aggressive on the breakout. What do you like about that, or what do you think are the advantages of having that really active, you know, far winger to really get a controlled entry?
The thing is, teams are so good now. Defensemen are so good, especially just like a game like a team like today. You got Hughes, and you have Faber. Like, these guys are so good, but they're also very tight on you. And we feel like if they're tight on you, they have a better chance to win that race or puck. So we want to get him out of the zone, you know, spread it out more so those guys don't get in that advantage. That's the whole reason about that. You know, every team's little opponent is different, but again, especially if you play a guys or a team like that who are a really good skating team, even in the back end, you want to push them up as hard as you can.
Marco, you mentioned the significance of having kind of diversity of skill set among the top four lines. A lot of times the teams will want to have their top three players on that top line. You mentioned you can do that later in the games. Is there a mindset of wanting to have that diversity kind of throughout the course of the regular season into the playoffs, or will you potentially go back to having a quote-unquote top line?
I'm very comfortable where we are right now. we are in a playoff race right now, and guys seems like being in a good spot and being in good lines, and you know, I'm not going to look forward whatever it's going to happen maybe next week or in 2 weeks, and that's the way we I think is going to give us success right now, and I'm going to stick with it until I feel like it needs to change.
The goal scoring for Zacha has certainly ticked up recently. Have you seen his game change or evolve in any way throughout the season?
Well, I always heard he missed a lot of opportunities in the past. I think now he hits them in the net. I think that's the one thing I've been watching him in the summer. Like he works a lot on that. You know, not just on his hands, but also on finishing. So I think that finally paid off. And the other thing is, and try to work with especially Casey and Pat, being more direct and being more around the net. And I think that's paying off for them too. And when I talk about, you know, going through someone's eyes or being net front for a tip or this and that, it's not always the long shot. I think these guys are getting really good at it, especially Pat and Casey, by scoring goals in the paint.